And welcome once again to Living in the 21st Century. Joining me today is Vasil Shevchenko, former Transportation Minister of Ukraine. And Vasil, it's a pleasure to have you on today again.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I want to read something as of today, this date, August 24th. I just want to read these losses out to you. Russia has suffered over 606,490 troops. Then FVs is 16,620. Vehicles and fuel tanks, 23,383. Tanks, 8,542. Artillery systems, 17,349. UAVs, 14,064. MLRS, 1,169. Then we want to look at planes. He lose like 367 planes, 328 helicopters, 2,444 cruise missiles, 935 anti-aircraft warfare, 2,911 special equipment, 28 plus warships and boats, and 1 submarine. Now, we know that Russia is a powerful country. They are well equipped and sophisticated in weaponry and artillery, etc. They have a lot of losses of that. A great amount of it is gone. And worse yet, well over 600,000 of his troops are dead. Now, mathematically, something tells me that women in Russia can't produce kids that fast to replenish those troops to go on the battlefield to fight. And my question is, where is he going to get so much troops from to finish his war when he had already reached out to mercenaries and took prisoners from out of prison and put them in the battlefield to fight? All those are wiped away. A lot of his artillery is going. There are a lot of government sanctions from the United States and its allies on his assets he have around the world and oligarchs and so forth. With all that's going on, and Ukraine apparently is penetrating deep into Russia territories, how much more can Vladimir Putin continue this war without giving up? What is your insight right now at this point?
I'd like to say that they are interested not to see this Ukraine forces movement inside of Russia Federation, but you know that Ukraine forces decided to act this way just to build safe security zone, because close to the border is located Sumy city, and the Russians very often were shelling this city from gliding bombs, and Ukraine forces didn't have enough artillery air defense system just to prevent bombing, because these bombs are being launched from their fighter jets from the distance from 40 to 70 kilometers, and Ukraine forces are not able to do it and to intercept it. And at the same time, in this place where and are located runways which allowed Russia troops to take bombs for fighter jets, and they were working, shelling Ukraine's territory every day. And you know that Ukraine haven't received from our partners permission for using missiles, higher precision missiles, which would allow us to prevent this bombing from this airport, from these runways. And Ukraine forces decided to act and secretly formed the military units, really effective military units, and crossed Russia's border just to save this security zone. And now we can see that this zone is more than 35 kilometers in the depths of Russia Federation and width about 40 kilometers. And Ukraine forces are acting according to our advantages when we have maneuvers war, and then Ukraine forces are more effectively. And this invasion, this incursion Ukraine forces from the very beginning caused many challenges in social media in Russia Federation. It was unexpectedly, and they didn't want to know that that war has came to Russia Federation, and they decided to share this information through social media, YouTube platforms, and it appeared it was hindering by power, and they were not able to watch details this storm operations, because you know that Ukraine forces were shelling high precision ammunition without targeting residential houses, without humiliation local residents, with respect and providing water, food, and security. And Ukraine's side asked to prevent it, and propose them to open so-called humanitarian corridors, but they refused opening it because it isn't good for it isn't a main challenge for Russia Federation, their people. And I'd say that it's type of treating, and at the same time we saw that Russia's president ordered to fight against Ukraine's forces, military forces, Russia Federation, and it appeared that they lack of this military troops, and they decided to send fighting conscripts. And now we can see that Ukraine forces have taken as military prisoners a few hundreds Russia's military, because they are not able and haven't been taught to fight, and Ukraine's combat military units are fighting effectively. And then we can see that Russia's president decided to visit Azerbaijan and to hold negotiations concerning so-called Russia's economical problems with Azerbaijan leader, and them they were looking for. They discussed the situation, how to provide, how to supply. Russia's natural gas to Russia through Ukraine from Russia Federation, because they are interested in supplying. But during this security operation was taken under control city Suja with pumping line, pumping stations, and now Russians are not able to hold control, but nevertheless they are shelling this city. They continue shelling this city, and as far as I know, have been destroyed a few buildings with this facilities, and I'd say that Zemchi decided to visit Southern Caucasus, Chechnya region, just to hold negotiations with Chechnya's leader, because it was unexpectedly, and they have said a little about Ukraine, because they are blocking information, and they are trying to demonstrate that they don't care about it, because his order to fight and to push Ukraine forces was given, but now we can see that Ukraine forces are continuing advancing further, and now they are at the short distance from nuclear power station, Russia's power station, and they are close to airports, runways which were dangerous for Ukraine forces. And a few days ago, we could see that Ukraine forces effectively have shown how they can act using drones, and there was eliminated 3 runways with big storages and big number of aircrafts. We don't know exactly how many aircrafts had been damaged, but we are sure that we cannot hear air alert because of taking off their aircraft, which can carry long-range so-called hypersonic missile, but it happened because of this kind of aircrafts, and it means that we are fighting effectively. And nevertheless, Ukraine forces are being supported from our partners from United States. We heard that United States will provide Ukraine's military forces, and United States authorities support Ukraine in this action in cooperation, and we are in cooperation with our European partners concerning this action. And this kind of a little bit different type of waging war is more effective than, for example, Russia's type of waging war, when they are sending their soldiers as a cannon fodder to storm Ukraine's ammunition, despite of really huge problems and big casualties. And I'd say that it haven't stopped their movement at the Ukraine territory, but they have concentrated their main blow. They are willing to capture Ukraine's Pokrov city, just to have a chance to locate their military, maybe barrel artillery units, just to shell Ukraine's industrial cities. And Ukraine forces have started storming Russia's troops the Kharkiv region. There is fighting effectively Ukraine's newly formed brigade, and they have moved for 1 or 2 kilometers from different directions, and it allows them to prevent their blow. But I don't think that it have finished. I think that they will try to gather their military forces, but as a result of this combat event, they are threats for Russia's military units, which can be surrounded by Ukrainian forces, and Ukraine forces have informed that they have eliminated bridges, which would allow Russia troops to withdraw their troops with big part of region in this war zone. And I think that time will show, but today we can see that Ukraine forces are acting really effectively, and now we can see how smaller and weaker country can defeat Russia Federation troops.
I want to ask this question. Ever since this war, millions of Ukrainians had fled Ukraine, some went to Poland and nearby countries. Do you think that whether they are in those countries or coming back to Ukraine, that Ukraine will ever be the same again to them? What do you think? Mentally speaking. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had about 6 million refugees from Ukraine, and it was fixed in Western media, in Western opinions, and them. Most of people turned back, and abroad of Ukraine are people who's not able to come to Ukraine because their accommodation was destroyed, and they don't have relatives, or maybe because of children who have started attending Western country school. Maybe this idea maybe allows them to stay abroad. But as far as I know, now Ukraine isn't safe place for children. For example, we can see every day shelling from ballistic missiles and long-range missiles, cruise missiles, different type of missiles, and we can see about many Ukrainians who have been killed by Russia's blow, because you know that they are using against Ukraine higher effective weapon, but this weapon is high effective only if they are fighting against civilians, and they are hunting for civilians who's living in the bordering settlements by drones, and they are shelling them from gliding bombs, and very often we can see that civilians are not in the safe place. And because of this kind of because this type of news, most Ukrainians who fled from Ukraine are not ready to come back. But we had different type of statistic, because 6 million refugees have been repeated many times. But I saw our domestic information that Ukraine's statistic confirms that more than 44 million people have turned back. And I don't think that somebody can calculate it clearly because of lack information and because of moving people in Ukraine and from Ukraine. For example, this summer, many Ukrainians try to send their children abroad, because we have no open sources, ocean, sea and rivers. Banks can be under threat, because they are able to detect big crowds of people and can target. And because of it, we are recommended not to gather big groups. And because of it, we ask our friends to help us with holidays for peoples who will come back and will go to school. You know that Ukraine have launched many underground schools in subway in the Kharkiv city. Ukraine have started schools in the subway, and it working around the clock, and people can stay there, and children can have lessons in underground. And I don't think that it's challenging for Ukraine, because we hope that after war we must have resources for development, and we must have more people who will be able to work and to rebuild our country after this war. We hope the war will have outcome. But nevertheless, I wanted to say that today Ukraine's president commented that Ukraine forces has received newly produced Ukraine's type of mixed missile and drone, and today their military targets in Russia Federation were hit by this type of drones without details. And because its mixed hybrid can have higher speed and is precision as a drone. And it means that military forces will have Ukrainians produce new type of weapon, and can be produced cheaper and provide military forces by ammunition, because we lack of ammunition, and we know that it's full-scale operation, and we have had many negotiations with our partners concerning it, and our partners understand that, and as a result we have heard that United States officials have confirmed that Ukraine will have additional ammunition for more than 120 million ammunition. There will be military vehicles, will be rounds for barrel artillery, and missiles for HIMARS systems, and longer and additional equipment which is necessary for Ukraine forces. And I think that it will allow us to fight more effectively, and to demonstrate that Ukraine forces are able to fight, and Ukraine is able to demonstrate advantages at the battlefields.
Personally, the American people is somewhat trying to figure out who is really winning the war, right? And I mean, this can have a very strong impact too on how people vote and so forth. I don't know. But would there be anything you would like to say to assure the American people that Ukraine is doing everything within its power to win this war, and how they are penetrating the Russia boundaries and what intentions they have in mind?
I think that Russia isn't able to win this war because of type of running country, and we can see that there are only a few people who's interested in waging war, and we cannot have real pulse about their willing. But now we can see that that interior situation in the Russia is deteriorating. They are not able to cover their expenditures. They are not able to provide social payments for citizens, and I think that it's China who decided to help Russia Federation, and it's they who's providing the additional resources, and we know that China have rocketed exports to Russia Federation different type of goods. And they are fighting for markets, and they are providing Russian society different type of equipment, including equipment can be used for military forces. And I think this negotiation with China and Russia Federation will demonstrate what will happen, because we know that China is interested in Russia's resources, and weakening Russia Federation is profitable for China, because China will have additional cheap resources, and it will allow them to compete at the world markets more effectively. And yesterday, Ukraine was visited by Prime Minister's biggest country in the world, India, Narendra Modi, who confirmed that India is interested in cooperation with Ukraine, and it means that India is have made his decision concerning side in this war.
Okay. Well, Vasil, we come to the last minute of our program. It ends so shortly, but nevertheless, we always will talk. I want to really say thank you for coming on and shedding some light on the Russian-Ukrainian war. And to all those who have been tuning in or living in the 21st century, have a great day.